Hey guys, thanks for coming back. We're still driving. Hope everyone's having a good afternoon. I've promised many people today. I've had a lot of messages. We talked in Discord. I actually just got done telling Tally, I'm like, it'll be normal next week. I promise. We'll go through, comments from the show before and, do all the other stuff that we used to do. I guess we could do it now. It's just a lot for me to set up, and I'm kind of limited on space, if you know what I mean. So let's see who's in here and came to support Miss Tally and the hell she is going through to find her abducted grandson. Shannon's here, Uli's here, Outlaw's here, Aggie's here. Hello, preschool granny, just me. Magoo, how you doing, my friend? Hope everyone's having a good afternoon. There's Lone Wolf. Yes, hello, family. Hello, family. See if I missed anybody. Grandma. Yeah, everyone's telling Aggie happy birthday. Like I said, she tried to slip that one by us, didn't she? Be a Shiner, how you doing, my friend? Misty, Sonia. Anybody? I apologize. Hey there, Jay Butter. How's it going? They're settled in. Let everybody get their notifications. I know I told everyone in the last live. So let's... Still, I don't know that people are getting their reminders like they're supposed to. YouTube's been kind of messing that up, but if not, they'll catch us on the replay. Hey, Mallory, how you doing? May I? How are you? I used to be cool. I love that name, by the way. I love it. And Granny Boots, that is something else. Do you wear cowboy boots? All right, well, everybody's getting settled in. I'm going to bring up Tally. This is a very special interview we're having today. This is her real life. This is the hell she's going through. She's going to explain things that we were discussing on Sunday. She actually just met with an attorney in the last hour or so. So she's going to catch us up on that and basically explain how all of this happened. And it's horrific, guys. So here she is. Hi, Tally. Tally? I can't hear Tally. Can you guys hear Tally? Let me see. Let me text her. She may have to reset that link. Bobby said she got her notification. Let me text her. Maybe she can hear me, but I can't hear her. No, nobody can hear her. Let's see what we can do. This is what happens when you have live shows. Just a second. I'm going to text her. It'd be easier if I did it this way. Bear with me. I just said we couldn't hear, so try again. She wasn't muted. It could be a Wi-Fi signal. You never know. Here she is. Hi, Tally.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, good. Yeah, it could be a signal. You never know. All right, so I don't know if you got to hear the show on Sunday.
No.
I mean, I know you have a lot going on, and watching YouTube is probably not your first priority. Yeah, Grandma said YouTube crashed 3 times on her. So where do you want to begin? Do you want to catch us up on what happened today when you talked to the attorney, or how we got to Easter Sunday? So to catch everybody up that wasn't here on Sunday, her grandson, Nicky, 4 years old, was abducted from her home on Easter Sunday. Tally is Nicky's grandmother, who has been raising him for the last 3 years.
Yes. My daughter turned 18 and inherited a very large trust fund. She had always been a terrific kid, no problems, honor student, really had a good head on her shoulders. She intended to go to Florida State University. Ironically enough, to begin abnormal psychology studies. She wanted to be a profiler for the FBI. We moved to Texas from Florida about a month before her 18th birthday. She turned 18. She got her trust fund and headed back to Florida, where she was supposed to be rooming with her best friend and start college. The day that she left Texas, she gave me a hug. She said, "I'll call you when my plane lands." We FaceTimed that first day that she arrived, and then I never heard from her again. No one could give me any explanation as to what had happened or why. The police would not get involved at that time, and they just kept telling me she's over 18, and in the United States, if she chooses to disappear, that's her right. And there's nothing you can do with no evidence of foul play or anything like that. And I was informed to just wait for her to get back in contact. Years passed. Still no answers. I got a call from her boyfriend letting me know that she'd had a child. A year later, I got another
you say
call
her,
from her.
so you say her boyfriend, that this is your oldest grandson. He's the father, correct?
He is the father of both my grandchildren, yes.
Okay. That was going to be
A
a
year
question,
later,
so I just want to clear that up now.
yep. A year later, I got another phone call again from him, letting me know that a second child had been born. I'd never seen them, and I still was not able to talk to Robin. And he wouldn't tell me why. I don't know that he even knew why. And then a year later, I got a call from my daughter for the first time in 5 years. And she just said, "Mom, I'm in trouble. Can I come home?" And I said, "Robin, you can always come home."
Mm-hmm.
When she arrived back at my home, I saw the condition that those babies were in, and it was unbelievable. Nicky was 12 months of age, so malnourished, he weighed less than 10 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
He'd never been given milk. According to Robin, neither one of the babies liked milk. As a result of calcium deficit, the soft spot on the top of his head had never turned to bone. It had simply grown with his head. The whole top of both babies' heads were completely malformed. Nicky was having seizures. His first trip to the emergency room, they did blood work that showed his kidneys were struggling to function. Alec, who was a year older, he weighed 12 pounds. At 2 years of age, he was 24 months old. And his physical condition was not any better. I called Child Protective Services immediately, and they came out and did an interview. After about 5 minutes, the woman walked back to my room where I was at and said, "Oh my God, she's lost all touch with reality." And I said, "Yeah, obviously." So she put together a family safety plan that said the children were not to be removed from my care, and they were going to insist on a psychiatric evaluation for my daughter. That night at 3 a.m., she woke me up and said, "Mom, I've been thinking about what they said, and they're right. And something is really wrong with me, and I'm going to go get help." And I said, "Okay, please go get help because something is really wrong." That was 3 years ago. We never heard from her again. In the meantime, Nicky was having seizures, and we had them evaluated with early childhood intervention programs that showed Nicky was 25% delayed in his development, and poor Alec was 50 to 75% delayed across the board. Nicky was able to make a full recovery. Alec was not.
And
The
Alec is
damage,
still with you.
that's right, Alec is still with me. The damage to Alec's developing brain had gone on too long. He is now classified as stage 2 nonverbal autistic with developmental delay.
What do you have to do for him?
Well, he goes to a special education program Monday through Friday for half day, and just give him lots and lots of love. I have worked with him on alphabet, and every room in my house has been playing Baby Bum and any other children's program that is designed to connect neurons, which is where his brain failed to make those basic connections as a result. When a child is not held and they're not cuddled and they're not given stimuli, those neurons don't connect like they should. And that's what's happened to him. So he has come so far from where he began. But it's been a slow process getting him where he is. On about a year and a half ago, my half sister, who was estranged,
And that is, let me put the picture up real quick so everybody can put a face with the names. Okay, if you're looking at your screen, on the left is Robin. The woman behind her is Tony. That's the half sister she's talking about. Correct, Hallie?
Correct.
How
and
did
about
she
a year
get
and a
back
half
into your life?
About a year and a half ago, after the death of our mother, I was raised separate from Tony. I got phone calls when our mother had passed from distant relatives, letting me know that as next of kin, I may need to intervene because Tony would not release her body.
Oh,
13 hours had passed since her death, and Tony was just snuggling her body and wouldn't contact anyone to come and pick her up. So we finally had to threaten police involvement to get her to contact the hospice company to pick up the corpse. About a year later, Tony arrived on my doorstep and said, "Allie, we're all that's left of the family. Can I please be a part of your family?" And I thought it would be wonderful to have family involved. Children need family. They need that support.
yeah.
And at first it was wonderful. She was, we're got lots and lots of pictures of all of us at the museum and being normal. And then over time, she started getting stranger and stranger about Nicky. She'd pick him up, and when he's squirming to get down, she won't let go of him, and just kept saying things like, "Wouldn't it be great if he were really mine?" And I kept reminding her, "You have an important role in his life. You're part of his family, and that needs to be enough." She had inadvertently sterilized herself with drug use and multiple abortions. After our mother died, she realized that without any children of her own, she didn't have anything left, and became obsessed with being a mother. Well, by now she's almost 50 years old, and that window closed long ago.
And that obsession was on Nicky, and
Correct,
obviously
Nicky
still.
only.
Oh,
She detested Alec. She found him disgusting, and looked at him as if he weren't even human. And that started coming out more and more there toward the very end. And it got bad enough that I had finally taken her off of the kids' emergency pickup list and all of that, because I would drop Nicky off at school, and then I'd get a phone call from the school saying, "Hey, Tally, just so you know, Tony picked him up an hour after you brought him in." And then I would call Tony, and she wouldn't respond. So I had begun limiting how much time she was allowed to spend with Nicky. And then she called one day and said, "Tally, it's been a month. Please just let me keep him overnight. We'll do this and that and projects." And I thought, well, that okay, but I'll be there at 8 o'clock in the morning to pick him up. And I got a call that night from the police. She had been spotted by another motorist swerving all over the road. And when police arrived, pulled her over, she was then violent and belligerent, attacked both officers, slipped out of the cuffs. When I arrived on scene, she was attempting to kick her way out of the police cruiser. The officer and Nicky had been in the vehicle, not
Now,
even
hang
in
on.
his car seat.
When was this?
This was in October.
Recent. So just about 6 months
Yes.
ago. Oh, wow.
Correct.
So we have a real downward spiral going.
Yes. And then, of course, she called me to bond her out. And I said, absolutely not. If you're willing to risk not only the lives of every motorist on the road in your own life, but Nicky's life as well, I'm not helping you, Tony. You can stay there. Somehow or another, she managed to bond out, and she arrived at my door and demanded that I hand Nicky over to her. Like he was nothing. Like he was a party favor you just pass around. And
what the hell
I
is
told
wrong with
her
her
then,
that she thinks you're just going to hand your grandchild over to her?
I know. And I told her then, Tony, get away from me and stay away from my family. There is really something wrong with you. And she told me then, I'll find Robin and I'll take him. And that was the last I saw of her.
Oh.
Easter morning comes around.
Which was just,
I always do big holidays.
About a week ago, guys.
Right. I always do big holidays for the kids. So we've got Easter egg hunts everywhere, and everybody's got their Easter baskets. And Nicky had a tummy full of chocolate and crashed out on the couch. His paternal grandmother was here visiting. I left the house. I had to go to the hardware store for a quick pickup. And we find 5 minutes after I pulled out of the driveway, she burst through the front door with Robin. And they attacked his paternal grandmother and took Nicky. And his paternal grandmother, her name is Jo, and she ran over there and she was trying to stop them, and they just started punching her left arm and hand, and she ended up with bruises all up her left side and her right rib cage. And she didn't even recognize Robin. They dropped him headfirst on the cement.
Oh.
And Jo said the angle he landed, she really thought they'd broke his neck.
Oh, my God.
He was screaming, so at least he was conscious. And they hurled him in the back of his car. Robin looked back, and she finally recognized her and just started screaming, "Oh, my God, Robin, what are you doing? Give him back." And they disappeared.
I'm going to put up the car they were in, guys. You can see the tag number. This is an Envoy. They actually had a getaway driver. Do we know for sure it's Bill Fisher, or just that's an acquaintance of Tony's?
We know the car is registered to Bill Fisher.
Okay.
Bill Fisher has been involved with Tony as her boyfriend for the last 30 years.
Oh.
Initially, Jo thought that it was a Caucasian man behind the wheel, but another eyewitness account, actually the neighbor that snapped that photograph before Nicky was taken, said there was an African-American middle-aged man driving, and that would have been Bill Fisher.
Okay.
So we know that Tony has outstanding warrants for that DUI. We have been informed that William Fisher also has outstanding felony warrants for other crimes. And they have disappeared. We called 911 immediately, and the police informed us, since a biological mother was involved in the crime, they would not do an Amber Alert. Nicky's custody case has been hung up in the Galveston County Court. COVID delayed, and then just a horrible attorney delayed, and the ball got dropped. So even though everything is filed, they weren't able to find Robin to get her served, to move the case forward. And getting a notice by publication requires time. It requires permission from the judge. And that's where we were at. And now, today I met with a new attorney, and he seems a lot more knowledgeable and certainly more aggressive.
Good, good.
So he's starting the process right now to get temporary emergency orders in place, but it's still going to take a few more days. Once we get those orders in place, then we should be able to get an Amber Alert.
Okay, and I'm going to address
But in the
this
meantime, every day that passes, we don't know what's happening. We know that it was confirmed that Tony is using methamphetamine. Right, he does not know them. He has not laid eyes on Robin since he was 12 months old. She's never made one phone call, never one message to check on them, nothing. And of course they didn't take Alec. They didn't try to take Alec because Alec is not that perfect little boy that Tony wanted to pretend that she's the mother. Nicky was. So no, we don't know. When Tony is happy, she's over the top silly. She's a lot of fun around small children. But then there's the other side where she sleeps for 30 hours at a stretch, and has these violent episodes like we saw the night she was arrested. So we have no idea if Nicky doesn't play along with her fantasy of call me mommy, how she's going to react.
Violent. That's what you're afraid of.
Exactly.
She's unhinged.
Exactly. And he's so tiny and he's so helpless. Joe said there was no recognition in Robin at all. It was like looking at an animatronic. There was no life. She was completely under Tony's control.
Oh. That was my question. How is she convincing her to do this when she left them for her to go get help, which obviously, I'm sorry, didn't happen, or this would not cross her mind to be something okay to do.
Right. The daughter that I knew would never have left her children to starve like that. Robin grew up in a house full of children and full of love. And she was always so responsible. Something in her has snapped somewhere along the way. We don't know why, we don't know how, but something has snapped. Having not grown up with my mother's family, I was never informed that there was mental illness in the family until all of this started to happen. I spoke with a cousin who let me know that after October, when I refused to bail Tony out, she began sending aggressive text messages to everyone, accusing them of being in contact with me. People that I haven't spoken to maybe twice in my entire life. And just going on and on about how Nicky was always supposed to be hers. He's her boy.
What?
Right.
I mean, you got a phone call from the father saying that you're a grandmother again. How did she think that she fit into that puzzle? Nobody called her to say, hey, you're an aunt.
No. But in her mind, Nicky was supposed to be hers. There was a karmic mistake. And that's how she sees him. Now, they've been on the run for 25 years. They lived from hotel room to hotel room, getting money from whatever scams they can, whatever they can scheme off the dark web. That's the only source of income they have. They have no way to take care of a child, to provide for his basic needs.
No. Mm-mm. Just his emotional needs alone, they can't, let alone medical, vision, food,
Right.
education, clothing, all the things. I mean, explain a day in your life before you go to work, getting the boys up, getting them ready, taking them to daycare, doctor's appointments. You work full time. You're also a writer. These are not things that
Right.
they can do.
Exactly. And a day in my life, you've got to figure I have both Alec and Nicky. So we start our day at 5:50 in the morning. I get up and get my shower. I go get my daughter, who works night shift. We get home and start getting kids up for school. My daughter then she waits with me. I'll run Nicky to daycare, which is 20 minutes each direction. When I get back, I usually get back just in time to pack lunches for the two younger boys, my son Cody, and then Alec's bus comes at 7:45. My younger daughter Morgan will stand with Alec to get him on the bus. I'm at the other bus stop to get Cody on his bus. My son gets himself on the bus. Thank God for that, at least. And then usually that's 7:55, and then I log on to work. I'm lucky enough that I do case management, which allows me a flexible schedule, and I'm able to work from home. So I'm logged onto my computer at 8 a.m. and then I work until 5 p.m. I get off work, I leave my computer behind, I head straight out to get Nicky. Meanwhile, Cody gets off the bus. We get everybody gathered up, come home for dinner. Then we sit down and we do homework all evening, and we chase each other around and we giggle and snuggle and have lots of silly days. And then everybody gets through the tub and everybody gets to bed, and we start the process again in the morning.
Whereas now Nicky is in a world that he doesn't understand because he doesn't have a routine and it's chaotic.
Exactly. Nicky has never been exposed to alcohol. He's never been exposed to any kind of drug. I've never done a drug in my life. I drink maybe 3 glasses of wine per year. He's never been exposed to cigarette smoke. And suddenly he's in this environment in a hotel room somewhere with people that are drunk and drugging and angry and violent and yelling. And he's never seen anything like that. He's never had a hungry tummy since he's been with his Mimi.
I really, really hope that in these adventures going from hotel to hotel, somebody sees him and calls the authorities. Quick. We say on this show all the time, see something, say something.
Absolutely. And Nicky, every adult he sees, he introduces himself to. I mean, people at the grocery store, if he sees anybody, he smiles and he'll say, "Hi, I'm Nicky," to every person he sees. And I just keep praying that he's going to say, "Hi, I'm Nicky." And somebody's going to click in their head, "Oh my God, that's that little boy."
The more we share this, especially his poster, and get it going around, so you think that they could either have been heading towards Melbourne, Florida, or Los Angeles, California, which would be easy enough to do out of the Houston area. They hit Highway 10 and they go left or right.
Well, we know that they did not go to Florida because the first night there was a bolo out on I-10. There's no way to get to Florida from Texas without going down I-10. So they had to have been going the opposite way. So we're looking more in the California, San Diego, Los Angeles kind of an area is most likely where they've gone, but they could have gone anywhere. When you make your money stealing from other people, you can do that from any location that has a Wi-Fi connection.
And their last phone numbers, I think the lanes are calling each other's.
I'm so sorry you went robotic there. Can you repeat that?
Oh, I'm sorry. And I know that obviously you have their phone numbers, but I mean, they're not going to answer your phone numbers.
No. No, we don't know if any of these numbers are even still active numbers. We have the license plate on the vehicle. We've gathered up information from just the police doing, knocking on doors and getting, interviews with people. And that's what we're going on right now. The attorney that we spoke with today he's very aggressive and working on getting those temporary orders in place. And as soon as we have those, the police then have no choice but to do an Amber Alert to locate Nicky. But that's going to take time, and we don't know how much time he has.
What is the next move according to the new attorney? Which, by the way, I'm really glad. She also has a GoFundMe, guys. If anybody has a couple extra dollars, there's a GoFundMe out there. You know, the reward isn't going to make these two give Nicky over, not with pending charges. Hang on. I plead the fifth. What do we do if someone finds him? Call 911. What was the advice by the police? If somebody comes across Nicky, what do they do?
The advice that the police gave until the Amber Alert goes out is to contact authorities and let them know that this child needs a well child check. If the police arrive to do a well child check, they will run every adult with him and find that 2 of those adults have outstanding felony warrants. They will be taken into custody. A 5-minute interview with Robin is going to show that she is not capable of taking care of him. At that point, the CPS would be getting involved. He already has an open CPS case here in Texas, and his custody is pending in Galveston County. So most likely they would then reach out to his biological father, Connor Rule, who would then say, yes, it's okay to release him back to his grandmother, which would be me.
Have you spoken with their father?
Yes.
What does he think about what Robin and Tony have done?
Oh, he is terrified. He is so scared for them. He knows the level of neglect those babies suffered. He knows the risk and the danger that Nicky is in. But unfortunately, because Robin is still Nicky's biological mother, he's not having any better luck than I am. So everyone who knows Tony or Robin, either one, there's no disagreement whatsoever that there's no possible way that they can safely take care of him.
No, they can't. And
it's not like they're getting, reviews that, oh no, they're fine. Not one person has ever said that. Everyone that knows them, an old friend that actually is the one who let me know that he was witness to Tony using methamphetamine, has said he won't speak out. He won't try to reach out to her because he's terrified she's going to show up on his front step and she's extremely aggressive. And he said, I can't defend myself against her. You know that. And that's a grown man.
Alaska Bush Mom wants to know, what social media do they have? What last names do they use?
Unfortunately, Tony and Bill have lived off the grid pretty much forever. They use, they make up dummy accounts and things like that to steal and scam, but they don't have any social media that's active of their own. Robin did have a TikTok that we were able to locate, but she has not used it since before, 3 days before the abduction.
Well, that's telling.
Yes.
I did read in, I don't know if it was your post or, excuse me, or one of Joe's, that it's believed that they had been watching your house for quite a while, like getting down your routine and everything, because you went to run an errand. So they were definitely watching the house. So you pull out of the driveway and they force their way into the home. And of course, Joe can't take the 2 of them on.
Right.
Did you have any idea that your daughter was in town?
No. From what we've been able to piece together, from the text messages that have been being sent, this has been in the works and plans since last September or October. Essentially, the night that I refused to hand her Nicky, she immediately began planning how to get her hands on him. This is very, very maniacally planned out. She fled the state of Texas because she knew she was not going to go to court for that DUI. So she fled the state and went directly to where Robin was last known to be, just to search her out, to start manipulating her and preparing to strike. One of my neighbors, they have a Nest Cam in the front of their home where you can watch them pull up their vehicle 2 houses down from ours, get out of the vehicle and remove the license plate prior to taking Nicky. So it was just fortunate that another one of our neighbors had noticed suspicious behavior and had just happened to get a snapshot of the license plate before this happened. Otherwise, we would have had nothing to go by.
And I'm putting it back on the screen. This is really important. The tag number and the poster, guys. Share this video. Share this poster if you guys want to grab a screenshot of it right now, because it's got the tag number and everything in it. So according to the new attorney, I think I already asked, and then of course, like I always do, I change the subject. What is the next step according to your new attorney?
So the next step, according to the new attorney, he is petitioning the court for emergency orders. Once we get emergency temporary orders in place, then I can take those orders back to the police department, shove them down these cops' throat, and tell them to get that damn Amber Alert to get him found.
Mm-hmm.
After we get him located, then we can worry about the permanent custody. But right now, the biggest thing is just getting him home and getting him safe. And those temporary orders will allow us to do that.
Diane, you're right. It is a nightmare. It is a nightmare.
An absolute living nightmare.
So do you think by the end of the week, the temporary order will be done? Can they do an emergency order?
I'm not sure. I'm waiting for the next couple of days. They're going to set up kind of a meeting where we're all going to get together and just go over every last bit of documents that I have, every number that I have. And I've reached out to a private investigator who's also involved, and he's excellent at finding people. So the problem is, though, if they're still hopping from one hotel to the next, by the time we find out where they are, they're likely to be gone again.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they're going to stay in one place.
No.
And I wonder if your daughter even realizes the gravity of what's really going on.
No, I don't think so, because like Joe said, there was absolutely no recognition in her face. Even when Tony dropped him on his head on straight concrete,
That scares me.
She never blinked. There was no emotion, no concern, nothing. Joe said it was like looking at a robot or an animatronic. There was simply no life there.
May has a question. How is his brother? Does he realize what's happening?
The first day, Alec was, of course, he's nonverbal, but he does communicate with body language. So the first day, he kept looking around and shrugging. And I just kept telling him, well, Nicky's gone right now, buddy. And then at night, I have video cameras in their room. And at night, you could watch him sit up and go back and forth between Nicky's bed and his bed and Nicky's bed and his bed. And then he'd sit up and just kind of keep looking over toward Nicky's bed. But other than that, his behaviors have been his baseline, his normal.
What about the daycare, the kids at daycare, other family members, your friends? I see that you have a lot of support around you.
Yes.
I did ask one of my mods, because she lives in Houston. I said, let me know the minute you see this on the news.
And they have. I have been so fortunate from the minute that this happened. We have had so much support from our community. The school that that Alec goes to, as well as the daycare that Nicky goes to. All of the teachers have been involved, the parents at the daycare, and we've really had so much support. Everybody knows Nicky. Everybody, sees my son is in elite baseball. So we also have a baseball family that have been so supportive, and doing everything that they can, and every idea that they could think of, to try to just keep Nicky's face out there and keep everybody looking. He's out there somewhere.
There's several groups for California missing. I mean, obviously, LA is a very, very populated city.
Right.
Have the authorities in League City contacted the authorities in California, or can you even answer that?
The authorities in League City have done absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
But I guess they'll be forced to when the custody is granted to you.
Exactly. Even with his temporary emergency orders, then they will have no choice but to start moving forward. But by then, probably 2 weeks will have passed, and they could be anywhere in the country by then.
I plead the fifth said, let's start calling the hotels, call Walmart's on the way.
Yes, we started blasting out Nicky's missing poster to all the hotels in the LA and the San Diego area. Tony has this belief that somehow she is worthy of only the Hilton or above. So we've been blasting the picture to all the hotels we could find, to have everyone on the lookout. If they were to seize the computers, then not only would Tony and Bill both be arrested for existing warrants, but they will find enough information on those electronics to land them a good 10 to 20-year sentence for cyber crimes.
Absolutely. So we can start sending the poster to emailing it to different Hiltons. Don't forget the Hilton chain. It's not just Hilton, but it's like, what's it? Hampton Suites, Homewood Suites. They're all under the Hilton chain.
Right.
May wants to know if they have a passport for Nicky. Is there any way they could get a passport for Nicky?
Nicky does not currently have a passport. And of course, Tony and Bill both being out on felony warrants. That would be something, hopefully, please God, would be noticed at the border.
Big time. I think things are really going to get moving for you here in the next week. I'm so glad that you found this new attorney and that he's much more aggressive than what you've been dealing with.
And I guess that's my biggest frustration, is if this custody attorney had done her job that she was paid to do more than a year ago, this would never have happened.
Have you tried reaching her and explain exactly what has happened now, or you just been too busy taking care of the matter at hand?
It took me 5 days of constant phone calls and emails to get any response from her whatsoever.
Ugh. So she drops the ball and won't take your call.
Yes.
Awesome. Ugh.
And that's when another attorney that I know I spoke with and said, Tally, get a new lawyer. Get a new lawyer.
Eileen, you're thinking like me. Bounty hunter.
I've already contacted. Yep, I've contacted the bonding agent that got Tony out on bail and let him know the direction that we think that she has gone. So he was supposed to be reaching out to people that he knows in that area and get them after them as well. As far as William Fisher, I'm not sure who his bonding agent was, so I'm not able to do the same with him. But with Tony, we were able to find that information pretty easily.
And another thing, okay, Joe mentioned in one of her posts, I don't know which one, it may not have been Joe, I'm sorry, because I don't have it in front of me, that basically, I mean, they assaulted Joe in the attempt to get Nicky.
Right.
Can any charges be pressed for that?
No, as it turns out, according to Detective Fullen in League City, they could not press charges on them for breaking and entering, and they could not press charges on them for assaulting Joe Rule. The reason that we were given is because, again, since Robin was present and is his biological mother, even though she has no interest in him whatsoever, since she was present, it can be argued that she was simply exercising custodial rights by
Oh,
entering my home, and that in attacking Joe, Joe was attempting to interfere with her custodial right, and therefore she would be justified in the attack.
I can't get my mouth off the floor. My
Yeah,
jaw
me
has just
neither.
dropped.
We sat there in that police station, I don't know how long, just staring him down. Are you serious? Yeah. We have
But
been
that's all.
stonewalled by the police at every turn.
It's red tape. It's legalities because this attorney did not
Right.
do her job.
Exactly. Yep, and that is, that is a job that she was paid in full to do more than a year ago. She kept falling back to, we can't find Robin, so we can't move forward. We can't find Robin. And it wasn't until another attorney that I know, who's actually the one that told me get a new attorney, said, no, Tally, they can do a notice by publication to get her served. You're never going to find her. She's transient. And as we've learned through this investigation, she's also been picked up for solicitation and is well known in Brevard County as that crazy drug addict prostitute.
And that's what they do 9 times out of 10 anyway. They put a public notice up hoping they don't show up because they don't read the paper.
Right. And it wasn't until then I finally called that attorney and demanded to know why that had not already been done. And it was probably 3 months after I demanded to know why it hadn't been done before finally on April 11th, she filed a request with the court to get authority to even move forward with that.
So back to the attorney that epically failed.
Oh, epically.
Considering what you're dealing with right now and the boat you're in, which was what she was supposed to prevent and didn't, because I'm sorry, these things are way more common than we know. It's not covered in the media because they consider it, it's in the family
matter.
A family matter. That's what they look at it. Can you file a bar complaint against her? Because
I have every intention of doing so. It's called ineffective counsel.
There you go.
That is what she is guilty of, ineffective counsel, and I have every intention of doing just that and filing a complaint with the bar association. And if anything happens to Nicky before you find her, I will never let her forget.
No, every bit of this has to be exposed. Every bit of this. Misty said, I say we inundate Governor Abbott's office with calls and emails. Yep, Lone Wolf said that is legal malpractice. Outlaw said they've probably already changed their names. Well, the thing is, we just checked into a hotel over the weekend. We're traveling. You have to show your ID. They don't just take cash. I guess some places would and just let you flop there. So somebody there has to be showing who they are. Do they have fake IDs? Do you know?
Well, I know that Tony had at one point bragged about having multiple identifications that she has built up over the years, but I don't have any of the details on that. And none of us really knew if she was being truthful or, just trying to make herself look better or more experienced than she is. But we do know that she has claimed to have multiple identities. Luckily, the vehicle that they are driving is not something that they will be able to change in very easily because they have no funds other than what they can steal from other people. I know Tony always had prepaid Visa cards, so they don't even have any form of credit or anything like that that is in any of their names. No bank accounts, nothing, your normal day-to-day life that you have. Well, they don't.
No, like you said, it's all cash. It's how they
Right.
scheme people. Then they throw some money on like a prepaid card, so that way they can check into a hotel. Because, like you said, she feels like she's so entitled that she's got to be at a Hilton or something.
Right.
So they panhandle enough to get that. That's not how Nicky needs to live. And I'm actually glad that they're staying at nicer places, because someone's going to notice.
That is our best hope.
And that's what I wondered too, just me. She said they can steal plates, like they can switch plates. They
Right. They
still have
can.
they still have the VIN number of the envoy. I mean, I really think that between someone noticing Nicky, maybe not recognizing him, but noticing something's wrong, and the car is what's going to bring us to Nicky.
Yes.
And of course, Tally's determination and what this attorney's doing right now. It's just like everything hit you at once, and you can only take care of one problem at a time.
Right, exactly. That's the first few days. Yeah, I was running around the clock. My neighbor, my very dear friend Stephanie, finally came over and she took one look at me and said, "Telly, you haven't slept in almost 3 days, honey. You've got to sleep."
How are you getting on like that? How are you sleeping? How are you eating? How are you getting on with normal life? You have other children to take care of.
Right. The first few days were in such a haze. Luckily, my daughter Morgan, who's not really in a whole lot better condition than I am, between she and I, we were able to get through basic things, making sure that the children were fed. I didn't sleep. You figure he disappeared on Sunday. I didn't sleep until Tuesday. And now I'm sleeping maybe 2 or 3 hours at a time. And I wake up just frantically grabbing my phone and praying to God that somebody has said something. And I don't eat much at all. I can usually choke down 2 or 3 bites, and that's it. My stomach just rebels. It won't have it. And I just keep hearing Nicky's his little voice when I would pull up to pick him up from daycare, and he would run to the window, and you could hear his little voice just screaming. And I just hear it constantly in my head.
I keep thinking about how confused he must be and how upset, because, I mean, maybe he recognizes Tony a little bit because she did come around, but not in the way of a caregiver.
Right.
But he's got to be confused. And what are they telling him? We're taking you on a vacation?
Are they telling him that, or are they telling him that your Mimi doesn't love you anymore? She doesn't want you?
I mean, he also knows that he was grabbed out of his home.
Right. And that is what I am hoping. And Nicky is such a smart little boy, and Nicky has known so much love. And I just pray to God that he holds on to that, and he knows that his Mimi will never leave him like that.
No, we all know that. No, you're fighting like hell. Amber, you're right.
I will walk through the fires of hell to get that child back.
And we will be right there with you, my friend. Anything that you need, I'm telling you what, you have no idea the army that you have behind you in this community. These people, they jump through fire for situations like this.
We have really been overwhelmed by how much traction Nicky has gotten. That was kind of our initial, when we realized that we were not going to get any help from the police, it kind of became, okay, well, we're going to have to essentially be an Amber Alert ourselves. And just like baby Jessica became America's little boy, her little girl were determined to see Nicky become America's little boy.
Well, we're with you all the way. We're going to keep fighting with you. Any update you have, you can use this platform anytime you want. It'll take me 5 minutes to open it up, and we'll get everything going.
Thank you.
And I'm going to put the poster up again. You guys take this screenshot, share this video if you want. But I mean, this poster needs to go everywhere. Let me take the banner down. That way it doesn't cut it off, because we want every bit of it. We want the phone number there. You see right there, League City Police Department, abducted on April 17th. It has the suspects, the tag number, very important. Of course, a picture of Nicky. That's very, very important. So we can start emailing those to hotels in California and actually just along the way. And it's really important information that you're giving. And sometimes, you know, in between, they might, you know, they might sleep in a parking lot or something. So really, wherever you guys think, it's not going to hurt. It's certainly not going to hurt. Amber said, so he's with two women and a man.
Right. There was a man driving the getaway car that is believed to be William Fisher. He's a middle-aged African-American man. And he may actually end up being the best way that we track them, because he has high blood pressure and he's a veteran. He was computer trained by the military and the Navy.
Oh, well, then he's definitely in the system. And I don't mean in a bad way.
Right.
He's been in the military. He goes to the VA hospital.
Exactly. His blood pressure issues are high enough that without his medication, he's well into stroke range. So no matter where they are, he'll be at a VA hospital to get his medications filled.
Okay, that's really important to know. There's really not as many VA hospitals as people think. So if they come in there with a little boy, that's definitely very important. I'm going to write that down really quick. Yeah, I plead the fifth. Yeah, that's really important information while he has to get his meds. Is there any way we can get a picture of him as well? If they don't use social media, I don't know how to find it.
The only picture that I was able to get of him, it's an outdated picture, but he's aged, but he's still recognizable.
Okay. If you could text that to me, then I'll put that up as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm just reading everyone's comments. Everyone's got a lot of great ideas where to send this poster. I love it. So we're going to get on that. Tally, I've kept you for an hour, and I know you've had a really stressful afternoon and very stressful since Easter. So everybody give Tally our love. We're going to let her go, and I'm going to close down the show. We're going to start getting...
We've gone quiet again.
Can you hear me? Hello? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, everyone can hear me. Okay, maybe she couldn't hear me. I just heard her say it went quiet again. I feel so bad for this woman. I feel terrible for her. But you guys are the best. Thank you so much for supporting her and everything that, you know, we're all going to do to get the word out there for someone to find Nicky. I mean, she gave a lot of great information, you know, like, you know, Bill going to the VA hospitals and where, you know, Tony prefers to stay. That's very important information, really important. So we'll start getting that out. Okay, so I'm going to start winding this down, guys. I'm going to get some shows together for tomorrow. So look at the community tab. I know people have been having a hard time. Love you too, Yvonne. I know people have been having a hard time getting their notifications from YouTube. I don't know what's going on with that. Oh, hang on. I got a question. Which one was in the military, Tony or Robin? The getaway driver, Bill, the man. Now, Tony or Robin, as far as I know, no, they weren't in the military. He was. And like she said, he needs medication. So he always goes to the VA hospitals. Yeah, the guy that was in the military. All right, guys. Again, thanks for being here to support Tally. She's an awesome woman, and she's up for the fight of her life. So you guys are the best chat on YouTube. You're the best community. You don't take any bull, and, you're absolutely the best. So I'll see you guys. Here's another one. Hang on. Fisher is his last name. Fisher is his last name. And no, she didn't mention anything about where he was stationed. So that I don't know. Just that he goes to VA hospitals to get his medication refilled. All right, guys, you're the best. Come chat with me in Discord. Don't forget about our Facebook group, Crime Lines and Lies. Don't forget about the page so we can talk and put our heads together between shows. So I will see you guys back here tomorrow. I think we got 2 shows tomorrow. So just check the community tab or just check the channel and it'll tell you the upcoming shows. I'll see you shortly. Bye, guys.